Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second semi-final at the Co-op Funeralcare European Masters here at Blackpool. Well, let's bring your players on, ladies and gentlemen. Representing Nottingham, it is Simon Skelton. And up against Simon Skelton, ladies and gentlemen, he's from Newton Hall, it is Chris Gale.
Oh, well, half right, Richard. Thank you for that. Jason has now hot-footed it out to try and get himself something to eat, because, of course, he's the first game on this afternoon. So Jason's preparation for his bowls is very important, and I don't want him to be stuck in what is quite a cool commentary box at the moment. He's preparing for his game. But a really, really interesting game on the cards here. Both of these players, no strangers to the limelight. Both have qualified for events. Simon Skelton's only just dropped out of the top 16. So big, big win for both of them here today. Both want this desperately. It's a tour card that would gain them a place in all the World Bowls Tour ranking events for next season. And both would stand a chance of getting into the top 16 if they could string a few games together, if they got one of these tour cards and got to the tournament. So Chris Gale, of course, homester, plays this rink a lot. In for an interesting game. Both players, every shot in the armoury, like to go early at ahead if it starts to build up against them. And the winner of this will face Danny Dennison tomorrow morning at 10:30 in the final for Tour Card 1. I just noticed, I know Chris Gale's father will be about somewhere. Martin Gale's one of the directors of the World Bowls Tour. But also I think I've just noticed that his good lady wife is in the crowd, Jennifer. Obviously it's a Saturday, so she probably won't be at work today, so popped in to give her hubby some support. Great opening from Simon, played very well in his game against Scott Bishop on the outside rinks, but also on the TV rink. And he played against Scott Edwards in the first round here, played very, very well. I'm sure his good lady wife Jo is watching at home. His two daughters, Gabriella and Jessica, will be watching Daddy. Simon got up to the dizzy heights of ranked 5 in the world. Just slipped out the last couple of years down at '19 now. Not happy with that, just short. Chance for Chris, played 3 good bowls for line, just not found his weight. Danny Dennison sat in the crowd there, won the first semi-final today. I think his opponent from this morning, Paul Hartley's gone to watch this game as well. Nice to see a few in for this game. Chris. Have you reached with this? Urging it on very close. All the way, Chris. Great bowl there. Looking down the funnel of
One
3
shot
down.
from Gale.
Those of you like to know what the players play with bowls wise, Chris Gale's playing with aero bowls. Aero groove normally. It sometimes swaps to the Evolution, but plays with aero. And Simon Skelton plays with Drake's Pride, part of the Drake's Pride
Judgment,
camp.
30 metres.
He'll be out there with his. I think he'll be playing with his Drake's Pride professionals again. He's a player that sometimes swaps to XPs, but this rink plays very well with professionals. Better wait from Simon here. A lovely forehand that swings all the way back, as Jason Parkinson was mentioning in the early commentary. It's all the way back to the middle. Don't forget, tonight 6:30, do tune in with us. It's the draw for the Co-op Funeralcare Scottish International Open live here on YouTube and the Facebook live stream. First time we've tried this Facebook live, and we're getting a great amount of feedback. Fantastic response from everybody. Thanks for tuning in. World Bowls Tour, appreciate your company, as do the sponsors, Co-op Funeralcare. And of course, we're here at one of the Partington's holiday centres, Newton Hall in Blackpool. Well, Simon's certainly carrying on where he finished off on the TV rink the other day,
Yeah, 5
playing
inches.
close bowls, putting the pressure on.
First bowl, 2 feet.
Down a good track, Chris. Underweighted this though, just struggling for his pace. It's an interesting game last night against Gary Smith. It's definitely a game of 2 halves. Chris dominated the first set but lost his way in the second set, and Gary played very well. Went to a tie break, and when you get to tie breaks, it's any person's game then. Not a bad position there from Simon. He knows Chris Gale's got quite a large drive. Not afraid to use it.
Two shots, Simon Skelton.
Simon gets 2 shots there. Good to have the umpies' voices back in our ears.
Jack length 28 metres. 28.
Good track here, just pulling up short. Mentioned in the game earlier, most players tend to stick to this side of the rink. Chris had found yesterday's forehand in this direction, was finding it very well. Swapped about a bit early on, but so these players been on this rink. There we go, that's Gale, Chris's wife, down to support her hubby today. Simon forced to swap his hand here, just drawing to the back bowl of Chris Gale's, try and rest off it. Oh, great bowl, just did a bit of a wiggle, rested in there. Track from Chris, rest his own bowl. He might get the same sort of wiggle that Simon got. Close.
One red.
Still one shot to Simon. Done a good track again. But you need to just ease a touch. Another little wiggle. He might have just rocked Chris's bowl down. Chris is having a look here. Seeing at the angles, if he can just get into where he placed his foot there. That would rest off, possibly even touch the jack back up the green to his other bowl to the right of your screen. In the area. Not sure whether it's gone off the rink enough. Yep.
One shot, Chris Gale.
Yeah, got a good result out of that. Two all after 3 ends. Simon Skelton won the world mixed pairs back in 2011. His playing partner then was Alison Merrion.
31.5 metres.
Guernsey. And then 2 years ago he won the world pairs with Robert Paxton. Chris just dropping short. Had a questioning about Simon dropping out of the top 16 and did the fact that he won the World Pairs and World Mixed Pairs make any difference to his rankings? No, they're invitational events, so they're not part of the ranking. Not at World Bowls Tour level or PBA level. Don't affect your rankings in pairs. But he suffered from an injury, did Simon, which those avid bowls viewers will know that he had to actually play with somebody helping to push him up and down in a wheelchair at Potters 2 seasons ago. Suffered an injury to his ankle. Interestingly enough, since that injury, he seems to got a more consistent delivery off the mat.
One ready. Last bowl gap is 7 inches.
Gale, as I mentioned, was at all 3 of the ranking events this last season. As he finished number 1 on the PBA ranking list, that's the European ranking list. When he got there, just didn't quite live up to his usual consistency and struggled. As in previous years, got to the quarter-finals of the Scottish International Open up in Perth, so we know he's got the capabilities. Not easy when you get through to the ranking events to tie a few games together.
One ready.
Oh, Chris, don't want to be short here. Down off the forehand, let the bowl out or touch the jack through, wants to be reaching it.
Timeout call.
Taking a timeout. 5 timeouts available to the players in the first 2 sets. It's a swing now, just played it over the draw. It will come back and sit down if it's perfect weight. Now, need to stop and sit.
One ready.
And still 1 to Simon. Jason Parkinson sat in the auditorium there chatting to Trevor Taylor. Both of those players are in Tour Card 2 semi-finals this afternoon. Join us for those 2:30. Jason Parkinson versus Swaleman Perry Martin. Trevor Taylor faces Billy the Magician Jackson from Lincoln.
One shot, Simon Skelton. Chris, there's 4 timeouts remaining. Jack length, 26.5 metres. 26.5.
He's back on that one fairly quickly. I don't know whether this is quite making the trip. Simon's choice of length, of course. Certainly better from Chris here. Be a bit mad with that one because it's just set up a rest for Simon down this forehand. Oh, Simon, you put yourself under a bit of pressure here. 3 short bowls. Needs that extra yard. Closer here. And cracking bowl there from Simon. 3 down, under all sorts of pressure.
1 red.
3 short bowls. Now Chris has got to try and find a way to remove that bowl. Blocked in front. With a track through off the backhand between the red bowls at the front. That's what he's looking for. Now it's whether it'll start to move.
One shot, Simon Skelton.
Well, Skelly takes a 4-2 lead going into the 6th end of the first set. Play 2 sets of 9 ends and if necessary a 3-end tie break.
Jack length, 26.5 metres. 26.5.
Sticking with this shorter length Jack. Found his pace with it, to be fair, on his last delivery at the last end, so repeat of that. Close here. Good opening ball from Simon there. He's down a very good track here, Chris, now. In good position. Gives him options with his next bowl. A little touch on the jack. Rest off the red bowl of Simon's.
Just half an inch short of Jack high. Your bowl gap is 14 inches.
He knew himself when he put that down. It's either right line or wrong weight, or wrong line and right weight. Simon wants to get another one in close, but just ideally just behind. Try and get back to the Chris Gale bowl. that's in the middle of your picture. And this looks pretty good for that to me.
2 red. Three red.
Made it in for 3. Chris's ball must be quite a bit behind in the middle of the screen there.
Yep. 3 shots, sign the Skelton.
That 3 to Simon gives him a 7-2 lead with 3 ends left to play in the first set.
Jack length 28 metres. 28.
Slightly longer, been playing 26.5. Track from Chris, just needs to slip past Simon's bowl. Did it perfectly. Simon doesn't want this head to build up too much against him. Needs something just behind. Rest on Chris Gale's right bowl. Tell you what, he's close to getting shot here. What an excellent bowl. That's what he
green.
needed. Didn't want to give Chris chance of getting a
Your bowl.
few bowls
Quarter of an
counting here. And just behind just helps the cause. It gives him a chance with his last bowl to try and create something. His own ball onto the jack would ping the jack through to the back bowl, so Simon will just need a little bit extra weight to just reach those bowls of Chris's. Close again here from Simon. Anything just past here is very good. Great bowl. I think Chris has still got to try it. And get down the plant. Chance if the jack comes out to the right hand side of you, where he's just putting his foot there. If the jack comes out to there, he's got a chance of getting a 2 out of it. Possibly a 3. We'll take these sort of chances at this stage of the game. 1 would give him 3-7 with 4 shots behind, 2 ends to play. Got to play it. Now, Chris, how good you look? Well, this has got to be reaching. Looks like it'll dive under now. He's just not played that with enough weight. 1 shot to Chris Gale.
1 shot, Chris Gale. Chris has 3 timeouts remaining. Jack length 31.5 metres. 31.5.
Chris just changing the length to full length here now. Try and shake Simon up a little bit. Needs to score 4 in 2 ends to tie the first set. Possible. Body language said Chris didn't like that. Need to start sweeping for him. I think he knows he's just overplayed this.
Chris.
This is wide. A lot of the way back, but I still don't think it's just quite got shot.
Yours.
Yeah, Alan Thornhill just confirming that. A loose end from both bowlers here, so this is a opportunity for Chris Gale. Just draw another in down this forehand. Try and hide the jack away. He's short. Oh. Slap with the hand there indicates that he knew he was going to be short. Simon's following him. Well, it's interesting because just, CEO of the World Bowls Tour, Richard Madison, just put his head round the commentary box hutch door. We were talking about the fact that it has gone very, very cold in the auditorium. It's gone cool outside. It might just be affecting the pace of the carpet out there as well. I'm sure the players that are playing this afternoon will get out there and have good practice before their games. Oh, Chris. Right, good enough to hold his toe that he ideally wants at this end to give him a chance in the final end of the first set. But Simon's got a clear draw on here. Down the forehand, just beat his ball to the left hand side of your screen. Get shot. Something you'd expect the calibre of bowler that Simon is to be able to do. Just that adjustment. Certainly down a very good track here. All on pace. Good enough.
One shot, first set, Simon Skelton.
With one bowl that went from Chris having chances to Simon sealing the first set, 8-3. Going to the second set of 9 ends in this second semi-final of Tour Card 1. First semi-final this morning was won by Danny Dennison. Final of this Tour Card will be tomorrow morning at 10:30. Don't forget, we've got some cracking games on for you this afternoon. 2:30 we've got Jason Parkinson versus Perry Martin. 4:30 we've got Trevor Taylor versus Billy Jackson. And then big one to tune in for tonight, 6:30. The live draw for the Scottish International Open. So before the finals tomorrow, the players will know who they've drawn if they win it in the Scottish and the International Open. All to play for here. This is a set Chris Gale's got to win. Simon Skelton certainly set his stall out for the day here.
15 inches.
Again, Simon looks down a very good line.
Two red.
Wiggle, wiggle, and gets
Simon, shot ball, Alan play.
to make second
Gap
bowl.
is 3.5 inches. One red.
Position of the last ball to the jack, please, Alan.
Last ball, 6 inches short of jack high.
Thank you.
Simon's seen the danger. 2 balls at the back of Chris's. Certainly watching this. Played it with a bit of timing weight. Needs to just get back to that jack. Will it move? It just hung off. Done enough to get second.
Red.
Looks good again here from Simon. Oh, great bowl.
2 shots, Simon Skelton.
So Simon takes the first end of this second set. Won the first set 8-3, so wants to try and power away in this second set, but the man in green, the local man Chris Gale, will want to stop the rot. Certainly that 2 at the first end to Simon helps the Skelton cause on its way to trying to win this second
Jack
set.
26.5 metres, 26.5.
One red. Sorry? Last shot, yeah. Gap on that bowl is 4 inches.
Again, Chris just disappointed, just pulled up short. Need to start shaking things up a little bit, changing things.
Third one's close, Chris. I'm not going to get too close. Time out, Paul.
In the target area, Chris here. Yeah, gets a good contact. Not sure if the jack stays. Looks like it could be one to Simon there.
One shot, Chris Gale.
No, it just kept rolling out to Simon's bowl.
Chris has 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, Chris really needed that result. Drop a 3 there. Got to be on target and then just hope for a little bit of luck, and a little bit of luck his bowl stayed with it. So Martin Gale in that view. Won't be able to pick it up on the camera, but he stood behind Dan McManus there, just looking through the
Jack
gap.
length,
Chris's
30.5
dad.
metres, 30.5.
He's nervous when his son's out on the rink. Tends to always be stood behind a pillar, hiding away somewhere. Remember when Chris got to, I think it was the semi-finals of the Scottish. Martin was hiding behind a tartan curtain. Often smiled about that since. Don't look. It's running through here, Simon. Opportunity for Chris to plays down this forehand very well. Just trying to put a better bowl in. A better bowl there from Chris. Still room for Simon. Again, just adjustment on his first bowl. Sits
One
down.
red.
Just made it. On this camera angle, it looked like it might still have been Chris's bowl. Plus make Chris swap to the backhand. Doesn't want to go down that forehand and turn Simon's any closer. Again, good track here from Simon. Looks a good pace as well.
2 red.
Well, Chris played a very good last bowl at the last end. He's got to come up with something similar here. He's 2 down, there's still the draw on. Depends on how confident he is on the draw, because there is the possibility to take both bowls off. Looks just the draw. Delivered on 3 seconds. just think that the way that Chris has been playing, he might have been better actually going for the 2 bowls. Just struggling for his weight on the draw here. Big opportunity for an extra shot in here from Simon. Holding 2. All he has to do is get inside that back bowl of Chris Gale's. Easier said than done. Easier said from here, certainly. But that's how you do it.
3 shots, Simon Skelton.
5-1 after 3 ends. To the man from Nottingham. Just dropped out of the top 16. Desperate to get one of these tour cards to give himself a chance next year of getting back into that top 16. Jason was mentioning in one of the commentaries yesterday that the ranking lists that are actually kept by Martin Gale, which is Chris's dad, work on a 3-year system. If Simon wasn't able to qualify for one of the events this year, give himself a chance, all his ranking points WBT would disappear. So vital that he wins one of these. But sometimes that pressure can be too much. At the moment, he's certainly playing very well. A man on a mission. Lead bowl there. Simon acknowledging that Chris has just found a good lead bowl.
One green, yep.
Needs to just run. He's
One green.
getting disappointed in himself. Played a good opening bowl, but just not managed to make the most of trying to get another in. Simon stalking this up under shot clock rules here. There's no question about when you go up to see a bowl. You can come up after every bowl if you want, as long as you don't take longer than 30 seconds to release your bowl when your opponent's bowls come to rest. Oh, Chris needs to slot another in here. Up to that red bowl, rest off it. I think he's been unlucky. I think it might just sit out.
2 green.
Oh, it's made it.
2 green.
Just shows you the camera angles we've got here. I'm just sticking with his draw. Second bowl here would be brilliant. Shot bowl would be a bonus.
Two green.
Well, Chris, opportunity to score a 3 here. Not sure whether Simon might have played that reaching off the backhand, but shows there that the side bowl of Chris Gale's is second shot. Need to rest off those. Sit back down. Can it sit down? Two declared.
Yeah, sure. Umpire, please.
The umpire being called on to decide the third shot. Because if you've been watching us the last 2 days, you'll know that the
Simon.
market has
Simon,
been
I'll take the other three rounds.
umpiring
I'll take the other three rounds.
on the rinks as well. But in these final 2 days, we have all 3 of the World Bowls Tour officials out there. Alan Thornhill marking, Tony Hatch out there umpiring, and Dan McManus is on shot clock for this game. I think we might need a cloth to wipe that camera. Bit of a fuzzy angle there. There we go, a bit clearer. Nope. Back to the fuzziness.
3 shots, Chris Gale.
3 shots to Chris, that helps. Puts him back on track in this second set. He's only 1 behind now, with 5 ends left to play.
Jack length 25.5 metres.
Short length jack. Just trying to shake the length of Simon Skelton, changing it to a shorter length jack. Simon's settled nicely on the length there. Perry Martin just come to sit in, watch a bit of this game. His next game up at 2:30. Should be a cracking game that between Perry and Jason Parkinson. Perry's certainly impressed here this week. This looks under a line, Chris.
One red.
Let's just count to have a quick look at the angles there. Making sure he's within his shot clock timing. He'd only sent 2 bowls. Go up and have a look, but he's got to release this before that clock in the background has counted down to 0. Just overplayed it. Opportunity for Simon to slot another in here. Down his forehand, it's a nice hand. Great ball, sets up a bit of a target.
2 red.
Chris might look to reach this. Off the backhand. His own bowls there nicely to get some sort of connection with. And played it and he's in the area. How's your luck again, Chris? Oh, I don't think he saw it that way. But he'll take it, certainly. It's in the area, it just seemed to hold off just
One
towards
ring.
the end. It does on here if you don't go with a lot of weight. Big apology from Chris Gale there. Players like to get the shots the way that they want to play them rather than get that little bit of luck. But it's all part of the game. Unfortunately, it seems to happen a lot against me. In the air, shouting at this, Simon. What a great ball from Simon. One of the vocal players on the circuit, certainly.
3 shots. Simon
Plays with a
Skelton.
lot of passion. 3 shots there at the 5th end. He's counted 2 threes coming in this direction. It's a 4-shot lead against Chris Gale in the second set with 4 ends to play. Played that perfectly.
Jack length 27.5 metres, 27.5.
Well, really, Chris now needs to try and win
Not
every
really.
end. 1 isn't enough for him. At every end, he's got to score at least a double somewhere along the way. He's got to win this set to take us to a tie break.
Close for 2, Chris. Definitely 1.
How many timeouts?
2. Timeout called. Chris has 1 timeout remaining.
Again, facing 2 down here. He drops another count here. All sorts of things going against him. Needs to slip past the red ball, get a connection. Oh, he's been unlucky, just was a bowl tighter from
One
what he
red.
wanted. here, Simon. Oh no, Chris, 2 down again. He'll be reaching into these, trying to split these 2 bowls out.
2 red.
He'll look at the angles. If both bowls go, he's got a chance. Really has got to be scoring at least 1 shot when this bowl comes to rest. This will go under. And Chris, it might be a start the car moment.
2 shots, Simon Skelton.
Simon Skelton 6 up with 3 ends to play. Even with my mathematics, that means that Chris has got to score 7 shots because he's got to win this set. Don't forget, if you can't stay with us, you'll get all the results on worldbowlstour.tv. Well, join us this afternoon at 2:30 for Jason Parkinson and Perry Martin. Shortly followed at 4:30 by Trevor Taylor and Billy Jackson. And the big one tonight, 6:30, the live draw for the Scottish International Open. Veritable feast
Javelin,
of bowls
26 and a
information
half
for you
metres,
all afternoon
26
here on
and a half.
World Bowls Tour YouTube and Facebook Live. Simon Skelton certainly, even on day 1, looked like he was on a mission here. Continued that all weekend so far, and it's looking very much like he'll be facing Danny Dennison tomorrow morning in the Tour Card 1 final. Simon's really just got the job of matching bowls now. Doesn't want Chris to set up any grouping of bowls that he can trail the jack to. Look at this. He's certainly been one of the most consistent players this weekend, Simon, so would deserve the place in the final if he was to finish this game off against Chris Gale.
How far is the jack off the tee, please, Alan?
From the tee, 4 feet.
Thank you.
Well, he's managed to open it up, holding 2, but there's plenty of room there for Simon. Oh, he's good again here.
How far is that short, Alan?
Yeah, that's 18 inches short of jack high.
Just look to draw this, Chris.
1 red.
Still 1 red. Well, if Simon slots another bowl in here. Chris has certainly left himself in all sorts of problems in this second set. Got the 3 at the 4th end. We thought it was going to give him a chance.
2 red.
Nice shot there of the 2 Tour Card winning prizes. Nice glass. Cut glass. A little blue ball, as a few of you have commented on, in the middle of it is actually in the shape of a world, all engraved as a world. Very nice. Let's have one of those on your mantelpiece.
Time out called.
Yeah, Chris does right to take his time here. Drops a 2 here. Thought he's well and truly over. Not sure what he's going to play. Might be looking to try and split the 2 bowls. I don't know if he can get enough weight round the red short bowls to get his bowl that's closest to Simon's 2 close bowls to split it away, but that's his shot. Choosing to play it off the backhand. Got to be a lot of weight here. He's missed it. Nearly got it off the edge.
2 shots.
That's
7
Simon
match.
Skelton.
Simon Skelton.
Takes his place in the final tomorrow morning against Danny Dennison. Join us at 2:30. Cracking games on the cards this afternoon, folks. Jason Parkinson, Perry Martin, thanks for your company this morning.